And action! Welcome to another episode of Sons of Screen Podcast. We're gonna get a little musical in your ears with our beautiful, soulful voices here. I am Faye. That is Colonel.
Hey, hey,
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
ho, ho.
Let's go. Tonight we are discussing Better Man and Weird, the Al Yankovic story. So the obvious theme there is biopics, like the musical biopics that it literally has been so many movies for. This genre is starting to get beaten down into
It
a fucking
it
retard.
started off pretty strong with a few of the early ones. It seems like
Like
they're
the
getting a
Bohemian
little too deep
Rhapsody
now.
and all
Yeah,
that stuff. Yeah,
I really liked Bohemian Rhapsody. I liked Rocket Man, but Bohemian Rhapsody was by far my favorite one of
I
this
haven't
genre.
watched it. I haven't watched it, but I heard the dude that played
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury. Thank you. Thank you for not letting me brain fart for so long. I was trying to think of Freddie Mercury, yeah. But the dude that played him, he was spot on.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see Rocketman. How did the guy that played Elton John? Was he pretty good on it?
So
Or
Rocket Man I liked, but they didn't do it the same way as Bohemian Rhapsody. But like Bohemian Rhapsody was like almost a shot for shot history of Freddie
like it
Mercury.
was a straight up biopic.
Right.
Like it
Correct.
was
Rocket
100%
Man
truthful and all that stuff.
tried to throw some dramatization in there. Like you start off at the end of the movie, and then he flash like he's in this AA meeting or something, and it flashes back to the beginning and kind of goes through some of his life story. But it didn't hit as well as Bohemian Rhapsody did.
But how did that actor do playing Elton John? Was he like a
I thought
good
he did
Elton
pretty
John?
well. I thought he did
Yeah.
pretty well. The other one like this that I haven't seen that I want to see is Elvis. I've heard that one's pretty good too.
Oh, with Austin Butler, the more recent one.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was actually a John Carpenter directed Elvis movie from the 70s, and it was Kurt Russell was playing Elvis.
Okay.
Which shout out to John Carpenter, he just got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Nice, nice.
He literally
Very
got that this
nice.
week. And he had Kurt Russell, Greg Nicotero, and Keith David there with him for that.
Mm.
But it's
Now,
nice that Hollywood is recognizing horror people.
absolutely. So I will say that. So while Bohemian Rhapsody is probably my favorite, you say they're biopic. Is that what you're calling
Biopic, yeah.
it? Biopic.
Biopic
Okay.
or biopic.
So while Bohemian Rhapsody is my favorite in the current biopics, I still really really like Jersey Boys, which I would put in that genre as well. It's just a lot older.
Or did you see that thing they do or whatever? What was that movie called? Doing that thing they I don't know. Tom
That that,
Hanks.
that gave me so much to go on.
I don't know. One of my favorite biopics though was Selena. Did you ever see that movie?
That one was good. That one was pretty good. It
That
was
was great.
it was
I
a little
wore out
too
my
much of a
VHS.
love story for me, but it was good.
That was one of the first movies that actually drew tearful emotions out of me because I was very young and I got that VHS for my birthday,
Mm.
and
Did you ever watch
because my La Bamba.
Sorry.
No, I
Sorry.
haven't. I've never
All
watched
right.
La Bamba.
Finish on Selena, and then we'll go back to La Pampa.
Oh no, and I was just saying I love the movie Selena. Like I've watched it over and over. I need to get back up on there. Which Yolanda, whatever that killed
Mhm.
Selena,
Yeah,
she was recently up for parole, but she got denied. She got denied.
yeah.
You're not getting out, bitch. Sorry.
So I believe there was two versions of Selena. Did you like the Harrison Ford one, or did you like the previous one, the old original?
About Selena, I didn't know there was more than one. So I like the Jennifer Lopez Selena one.
Am I thinking of the right one? Wasn't Harrison Ford and Selena?
No, Edward
Hmm.
James Olmos was in Selena.
I'm gonna have to. We'll,
Edward
we'll
James
we'll table
Olmos
that, and I'll have
was.
to go check and figure out which movie I'm thinking of.
I can't think of a fucking Harrison Ford movie where he did a fucking musical biopic.
Hmm. Well, we won't stew on it right now. I'm going to stew on it, but I don't know what. But we don't need to waste time on it right now.
Right. But yeah, Selena was one that I really enjoyed growing up. There hasn't really been too many music biopics that I've seen.
So
That
they came out with one recently that Timothy Chalamet did that was about Bob Dylan.
It's the Bob Dylan one, yeah. What was that one called? Damn it.
I think that one was called Dylan.
No, it was the title of one of his songs, like most of these biopics are. Like the title of the movie is always a title of a song that they did. I've noticed Rocket Man, Bohemian Rhapsody, the fucking Timothy Chalamet one
Elvis,
is a name.
Jersey Boys, Walk the
Better Man
Line.
That We're Doing Tonight is a title off of a Robbie Williams song called Better
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Weird is not a name of a song from Weird Al, surprisingly.
Yeah. Complete Unknown is the name of that Dylan movie.
Complete Unknown. That is a Bob Dylan song. So,
All right. Well, shall we move into our random beer section?
hooray, beer!
Hooray for beer!
Sorry, I get anytime somebody says beer, I get really excited. So.
I mean, anytime somebody says hooray at this point, I just think of Bowling for Soup. Hooray for beer! I'm really glad you're here. Let's make this moment last.
I just think of the old Red Stripes commercials. The beer Red Stripe.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fucking Jamaican dude where we're going, hooray, beer! That's where I got that from.
Well, would you like to present your beer first?
Yes, I can there, Colonel Whiteside. I can present my beer. I don't know why I said it like that. Like, hey! But solo layout. Yeah, I got you. I got you, dog.
I was in the process of looking for it.
But mine, since we're doing musical biopics, I got Mosh Pit. Oh, it says right there at the bottom that I didn't even realize that it said. It says Juicy Pale Ale right at the fucking bottom. It's from Surly Brewing Company, apparently. Or Shirley. Don't call me Shirley. Leslie Nielsen, shout out.
You can't be serious.
Don't call me Shirley. Which we're about to get into some naked gun here in a little bit, but mine's a Juicy Pale Ale. It says Juicy Hoppy Burst, and it's a 5.5% alcohol content. So not a heavy beer.
So it's gonna hop in your mouth and burst.
I hope so, baby.
All right. Well, you figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead and reveal my beer. So my beer, in order to get this to tie to these movies, so the dads in both of these movies were pretty shitty, and then they came back at the end of the movies and they kind of got a little bit of a they reminisce, like they got back together, and the dads were a big part of their lives after that by the end of the movie. So in the honor of that, we're gonna get a dedication series in 2023, The Milk Dads.
You were telling me about this fucking beer, and you were excited to try it.
I was excited until I looked down here and saw it said Imperial Stout. So this beer is also, I believe, the highest ABV percentage that we've had so far, and it is a 14% beer.
Oh, I mean, like I don't have to research history. That is definitely the highest ABV that we've had.
I mean, we've had a couple of 12s.
I say we've had a couple of 12s, but that was the highest.
I can smell it from here. Ooh, it does have a cocoa hint. But you notice that the Milk Dads was in the design of Milk Duds.
Yeah. I don't know why I went yeah like that, but oh, look at that face. That's a precious face. I'm gonna screenshot that fucking face. You didn't even taste it yet, huh?
No, I just did. That was
you did.
That's the initial taste phase.
I thought that was a smell reaction. I haven't tried mine.
No,
yet.
like there is like straight up syrup in this thing.
How is mine not higher than 5.5%? Because it just straight up tastes like alcohol.
I really feel like I should have shaken this beer before I opened it.
This should, the way they describe this beer, it should taste a lot better than it fucking does.
Well, it sounds like we picked some real winners this week.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to go on the lower end of the spectrum there.
I know you want to find something else for us to talk about during these beers, but I think a great thing to talk about is how bad these beers taste.
Like, we haven't had this bad of a streak when both of us do not like our fucking beer. I thought Mr. Mingo was the worst. He might still be, because that was a disgusting beer. But the Mosh Pit, it's supposed to be a juicy pale ale. There's nothing juicy about it. It's fucking disgusting.
I mean, the excess beer, you know, when you get around the top of the can, it literally looks like tar.
That's like Colonel's having a way worse time with
Like,
this.
I'm going to show you the top of my can when I get done so that I don't have to worry about pouring it out on something and trying to figure out how to clean that.
Well, we finished this. We were
You know
on
how
the
I said
topic of...
You know, I said I felt like I should have shaken the beer because it felt like all the syrup was on top.
You're getting the flavor at the bottom there, aren't you?
Like the entire thing has had the same flavor all the way through, so even shaking it would not have changed anything.
I haven't seen that disgusted look on your face in a long fucking time.
It's been a while.
A disgusted fucking look.
It has been a while.
You look like you want to cry.
It makes me want to puke. I mean, we can wait to give ratings if you want, but I already have mine. This beer is a fucking dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire.
You said dumpsters are 0, right?
Yep. That's like not even a 0.5. It is a big old...
That is absolutely, like, kudos to the marketing, because awesome marketing.
They lured you in. They lured you in.
Like, I just want to get through this thing so I can go back to a good beer.
That's why I just slammed mine, because I wanted to get that over with.
And it's a fucking pounder. It's a pounder. See, the problem is, I think if I try to chug this one, it's so sugary too. I really think that I would puke if I tried to chug this.
Oh, I'm pretty sure your beer is a lot worse than mine. As much as I didn't like that I just you gave Dumpster Fire out of 5. I have to go a little above Mr. Mingo. I'm gonna give it a 1.
Okay.
Mingo was a dumpster fire, but that one, woo! I feel like I just drink battery acid.
On your Mr. Mingo, I wrote you down for a 0.5 because I thought dumpster fire was a 0.5, but you gave it a dumpster fire, right?
Yeah.
So it is actually a 0. So it was not our first dumpster fire.
No.
We have both now had a dumpster fire, though.
You shouldn't have done that. You did the boy. All right, then.
I'm trying to get that taste out of my mouth. Anyways,
I gotta show off my slate here, because I'm pretty proud of this slate. I think this is my favorite slate that I've done yet so far.
Okay.
So let me try to get the.
Let me get you full screen here. Let me get you solo layout.
Okay. So we got scene 13, which is our 13th episode. It's Take, because I said take that. Do you understand the reference? Because it's the boy band that Robbie Williams was in. He was Take that. Yeah. Added kid, so you did pay attention to the movie when you watched it.
Do you think I don't?
I got to. I used to do a podcast with this guy named Brian Farmer, and he never watched the movie sometimes. So I question it sometimes.
It was a little bit of an oxymoron. You never watched the movie sometimes?
Most of the times.
Anyway,
I drew a weird monkey head with a pile of poo next to it for a roll, because monkeys throw their poop.
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I went with that.
Okay.
The date is different. It's 1/1/1983.
Raise it up a little bit. You're not really on the screen. There you go.
The date is 1/1/1983. The reason why I did that date is because that was the date that Weird Al released My Bologna.
My Bologna.
His first parody hit that he did, My Bologna. So I did that. Production company is Weird Monkey.
You didn't do
director. the director is Madonna Aho.
Madonna.
Madonna Aho. Madonna Aho. So Madonna Aho. And then the cameraman is Curious George because he was a curious little monkey.
Okay. What about the sound? What about the sound? You got a little bit in the sound there.
Oh yeah, I skipped over that. I said the sound is better, man. Like, comma, better, comma, man. The sound is better, man.
Because you're not on your earbuds. You're on the actual sound, right?
Yeah, so the sound is better, man.
All right. So my that beer that I had is literally crusting my mustache.
Like your facial hair is literally gluing together right now because of that beer that you drank. And that was a heavy alcohol beer. How you feeling after that heavy ass alcohol beer that's 14% and tasted like asshole?
I can tell that I had it.
Bad kid.
But I'm on to the good stuff now.
Right. All right. So
which one of these movies do you want to do first?
As I've said in the past, I always pick the movie that I really want to talk about first. So if we start running out of time for the second movie, then we can short it down.
Yep.
So obviously, naturally, I want to talk about Better Man first because I cannot wait to hear your opinion on fucking Better Man.
I pretty much already know based off the way you've talked about this movie how you're going to
my rating is obviously my rating is spoiler alert, it's gonna be a fucking Miss Davis.
Yes, I already knew that.
yeah
So
but
the movie itself was entertaining. I mean I enjoy myself a good musical. I still don't know who the hell Robbie Williams is, but like
neither did I when I went into it. I just knew that he had his only American hit was Rock DJ in the early 2000s, which in the movie they performed that song. That's when they did the street number when they signed as
whenever they were. So that brings up one of the things I didn't necessarily like them a ton about it. Like they did the street scene where they were doing all the where it's
the big choreographed number. And
right. It's obvious. Yeah. It's obviously been proved that you can have a choreographed number like that without using CGI. But they used CGI to make that entire cut. Like you could tell.
Well, because it looked like one singular shot. That was the whole thing. Like if you notice, there was never a single cut throughout that scene.
Well, right, but
they just one camera following through.
They obviously used CGI to even the people in their dancing, like to align the dance moves and everything, so that all the dance moves were happening at the same time. Like it was obvious that they were using CGI to clean it up, and I feel like they could have done a better job of doing that without CGI.
You recognize like CGI faults in that one in this movie?
No,
I didn't really see any CGI.
I wouldn't call it faults, but you could tell they were using CGI to make everything in unison.
Right. I don't know, because like I even watched the behind the scenes of that. Like there was not even any green screen for that scene. They literally shut down a street in England, and and did that whole and all those actors that you see in there. I'd probably say about 100 extras. They were all there. They were not digitally added.
Well, I'm not saying they digitally added things. It looked very much like they were. There was just places. A lot of that montage looked like they were using CGI to clean up and make it in sync, as opposed to just having the actors and everything be in sync. not
Right.
the band.
Hey, which I have an NSYNC autograph board right here. I got all 5 members of NSYNC right
No
here on an
way.
autograph.
How did you
Oh,
have
I
that
haven't
just sitting
showed
there?
it. I haven't showed you this yet. I thought
I've
I
never
showed you
seen
this.
that.
My aunt, she knows that I'm a big fan of both NSYNC and Joe Coy, the actor.
Okay.
So she randomly showed up at my door. This is one of the things she got me. All 5 signatures of NSYNC
Nice.
that she got at a meet and greet in 1999, which is
Well,
what
the next
this
time I come to
sticker
your house,
shows.
if that shows up missing, you won't you yeah, don't worry about it.
And then here's the Joe Coy poster that she got me that signed.
Mm-hmm.
And and then she randomly threw in because her favorite NSYNCer was Chris Kirkpatrick. So then I started supporting Chris Kirkpatrick. So I
Mm-hmm.
straight up got a fucking Chris Kirkpatrick
Oh
solo
my.
photo with an autograph on it.
Him looking like a bad boy.
But that's what we're going into. But well, brother. But anyway, yeah, that whole dancing, like you saw some CGI or whatever. But
Yeah,
how
I
many
felt
movies do you love there you can recognize CGI on though? Like I'm pretty sure you.
well most of the movies these days you can see CGI, but like you can SEE CGI. But I mean, it just felt like they were using editing to like they were. It just didn't. It felt a little clunky in the and maybe it was supposed to feel that way.
Like I said, like that whole scene was supposed to be one single shot, but obviously they cut and edited in because it wasn't one single shot with all the CGI that they needed to use for that. Because this movie cost $110 million to make, and it only made $20 million in the box office.
You want to know why it only made 20 million in the box office? Because they made a big blockbuster movie about somebody that nobody knows.
That nobody knows here in the States, and where you can make money for a movie is in the States, and
Yeah.
nobody knew who the fuck he was.
Yep.
And it's in a genre it's where people are kind of getting tired of.
A
Like
little
we were
burnt
talking about,
out,
like
yeah.
we've had so many fucking musical biopics in the last
Mhm.
like 5-10 years.
Well,
We've
and
had
part of the problem
so
with
many
that,
of them.
is the ones that they did really good were on the ones everybody knows and everybody loves, and
Hmm.
they were stoked about them. When you get one that you try and CGI and ape as a person, I think that was their main downfall.
Fun fact: one of the reasons why they decided to do the CGI ape, like Planet of the Apes style, is because they knew that the American market was not going to give a fuck about Robbie Williams because nobody
Mm-hmm.
remembers him at all.
But you
So
throw an
they're
ape
like,
in
well,
there and people are going to like it.
it could be a selling point to where it's an ape. And god damn it, I forgot what I was going with that. The only reason why I ever watched this movie was to make a video on our channel here, this in the
Mm-hmm.
Screens channel,
Is
to
this the
do a
one that
flop
you
file.
was your first movie review that you did?
That was my first flop file video
Flop file
that I did.
didn't
Yeah,
turn out to be flop file. Well, I mean, technically, it still was a flop because of how it performed in the box office.
right. And I'm so glad, like, this channel's existence and this show's existence is the reason why I got to watch this fucking movie. And I'm so glad I did that because I never would have watched this. I never gave a fuck about Robbie Williams. And I love me some talking monkeys, but
And let's be fair, I
like,
still don't care about Robbie Williams.
fair enough.
But I mean, I did find it interesting that he still did the acting, like he did all the voice acting for the ape, but he just wasn't in the
he
movie.
also he also did some of the physical acting too. I
Okay.
learned he did put on the mocap suit
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that for a lot of scenes, especially the final scene to where he performs and he brings his dad up and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, which we'll get more into later. But that was all
Right.
Robbie Williams, and that's
So
another thing. Is like the performance with the mocap and like this was nominated for Academy Award for visual effects because that's how good the ape monkey ape monkey looked in this movie.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They did a great job making a person into an ape. I mean,
That's so good.
it was there was a lot of quality scenes where it looked like there was just an ape in the scene. But
What what I love about what they did with the ape though throughout his timeline is all the different hairstyles. Like he literally had a bleach blonde fucking ape, and that's my favorite version of Robbie Williams in this movie. It was the bleach blonde with the tracksuit,
right,
and he confronts his girl about, you know, she aborted the family because she wanted to continue her career, and confronted her. Just watching that performance that he did in that, so fucking good, so fucking good. But no,
I think
okay, kind of.
I think one of the biggest messages in this movie was how your inner demons can fuck with your life.
Yeah, and that was the whole point of him randomly seeing his past figures in like
Yep.
the crowd and stuff. It's like no matter how good you're doing, your inner demons will always come up to fucking haunt you.
Right, and the thing that I didn't quite follow was whenever the scene, like when he's out there performing, and then he goes out and starts just getting in this battle with all of his old selves. Like they never said how they just cut to a completely different scene after that. It's like, okay, so what happened with the rest of that fucking concert?
That's the fantastical part of this movie, to where it's a biopic, but obviously they heightened it and
Well, right, but
did
like
some.
they should have had a scene that came back to the concert to find out if he actually did he like freak out and leave the concert,
Because
or
that was his realization that he needed to change. That's why he went to rehab, because that concert made him realize that he needs to stop his fucking drugs and alcohol and all that
right?
stuff. Especially when the girl saw him with the fucking syringes hanging out of his arm and stuff like that. Like that was his come to Jesus moment.
It was just rock bottom.
Is what it's called. Yeah, his come to Jesus moment, especially when he did the razor blade on the wrists and stuff like that. But he went across the stream, not down the river, as they say for slit wristers.
The fact that
I don't
you
mean
know
to laugh
term,
at that. I don't mean to laugh at that, but that's
the
funny.
fact that you know the terms is like okay.
But honestly, though, like to go back to when I first watched this movie, and I was watching this movie to just simply make a video for this channel. That opening to where we just get him the dad leaving and him singing that song "Feel," which was so good, and whoever sang that song for that little kid, yeah, that dad can go fuck himself. I know it was a happy ending, but that dad can still go fuck himself.
Like he was literally just like, oh man, like ripping his son's ass, and then like 2 days later he leaves. It's like you got this kid that just wants to spend time with his dad, and his dad doesn't give a fuck.
Right. But what made me think that this is going to be a good movie is my ears started percolating when the little kid was singing a song about his dad leaving and feel like handheld and stuff like that. And then that was just the cold opening. And then all of a sudden we get the title "Better Man" coming in. I was like, all right, you got my attention, movie. You got my fucking attention. I don't give a fuck about Robbie Williams, but you've got my fucking attention. And it never lost my attention whatsoever while watching this.
They did a really good job of pacing in the movie. I mean, moving from one part of the life to the next. I mean, there never was really a dull moment. There were times that it lost my attention, but
I'm trying to remember the director. The director did something that you're familiar with. I just can't remember what the fuck he did.
But I mean, at the end of the day, the movie itself. I mean, it was an entertaining movie, and I did like that it was a movie that didn't have an ending that, oh well, in 1999, Robbie Williams committed suicide. And that was the black screen that it ends up with. Like, no, it actually had a good, what I'll call a feel-good resolution at the end of the movie.
Did any songs resonate with you for your first time watch here? Did any of them stick out to you?
I mean, I just like music. There was a few of them that gave me goosebumps, but I don't remember which ones they were.
Well, while the dad was a piece of shit and stuff like that, and I don't think that Robbie Williams should have even called him on stage at the end like he did.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
even
father-son bond there. Like,
it was.
No matter how shitty your dad is, you're still gonna love
I mean,
your dad.
Right, and I mean, it was cool that he brought him up on, like, I was sitting there thinking, watching the end of it, like, he thanked his mom and this and that, and then he just said, "This is gonna be the last song of the night," and the dad was like, "You're not even gonna say anything about me?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's what you get, dude." And then when they brought him up on stage, and as soon as he started singing the song from the beginning, I knew he was gonna call him up on stage. Which, right. I mean, it was a great,
good old Frank Sinatra. You know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a great feel good ending. But like, even in the middle of the movie, the dad's sitting there. The son is obviously struggling and going through stuff, and
the dad only
the only thing the dad cares about is, well, it's about monetizing his kid. It's like
he just only cared about its success the whole time.
Right.
He didn't give a fuck about Robbie. He didn't give two flying fucks about him.
And the only reason that yes, it was a feel good story at the end. At least it was a feel good story on Robbie's side. I still believe that dad just didn't even
this
give a shit.
This movie shouldn't have highlighted the dad like he was actually a good dude. Like,
right.
He obviously was not. He was just leeching, and
he went off with some hooligans.
Yeah, exactly. But when he brought up his dad on stage there at the end, and all Robbie, this whole movie, all Robbie Williams wanted was his dad to just accept him, acknowledge him, and his dad called Sinatra and all them gods.
Mm-hmm.
So then there at the end of the movie, when he pulls him up, he's like, "You're one of the gods," and then you get to see the face of Robbie Williams, the monkey Robbie Williams,
right?
And he's cringing. That shit fucking plugged at my heartstrings like a motherfucker. it was brutal. I was like, God damn it, you're gonna make me cry, and you're a fucking monkey.
Well, I will tell you that my favorite scene in the entire movie was that last movie where the unplugged scene where he's just sitting there and doing his that very last scene where he thanks his mom, pulls his dad up on stage. Like, that whole sequence that was my favorite scene.
You really like that ending, that sequence there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was good. It was a good way to end the movie. I also loved when he met his girl, how it was.
You keep saying his girl. Are you talking about Madonna?
No, that's Weird Al that we're going to talk about.
You're right. My bad.
Dumb shit.
Drink.
That fucking weird milk dad is affecting you.
Kicking in.
Yeah. No, Madonna's not in this fucking movie, period.
Okay.
When he met this girl, though, on that boat, and they did that musical sequence, that's how they got this show.
Oh, you're right. It was the other pop singer
that I've never heard of before.
Right.
But
right.
Apparently she was big in the UK too. But when they met on that ship and stuff like that, and then they broke on the musical number, I love how they told their entire story, both positive and negative.
In 2.5 to 3 minutes.
Yeah. Because they could have made this movie like 3 hours long if they wouldn't have done that. Because it was interesting. Because like I said, when he confronts her with his bleach blonde hair, like, you aborted our family just so you can keep your career. That scene was intense, by the way.
It was like that
scene. And I was agreeing with Robbie. Like, when you first watch her, like, you think that he's being a dick to her. Mm-hmm. No, he's just finally confronting her with something that he really wanted to talk about.
Something that happened that we didn't know about, that he just finally just like, I mean,
finally wanted to confront.
I'm assuming that she had an abortion so that she
can continue her career. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I did love that whole scene, though, when they met and we got to see their whole timeline within 2 minutes of that song, which is a great song. Like no bullshit. That's all I listen to at work these days. Is the soundtrack of this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's all I'm
None of the
jamming
heavy
out to.
metal or the thrash rock.
Nah,
It's all
yeah,
Better Man.
none of my metalcore or anything like that. Yeah, no, I'm listening to Better Man. I'll be in the linen room, just fucking singing fucking Better Man music throughout
I'm
the
a
whole
better
thing.
man. So
Which
I'm not gonna lie. Funny.
my favorite
So
song in this movie though was when his grandma died, his
mhm.
nana or whatever.
The
That song
realization
right
he came
there,
to that he just was so strung out that he didn't even know about it.
and the death of his grandma is what made him realize maybe I should fucking change some of my lifestyle there
Hmm.
and not be drugged out. And that whole scene of him just reminiscing with his grandma, and then taking the
Well,
TV to her tombstone at the end, I thought that was
hmm
fucking cool as shit too.
well, and I don't know. I'm sure you noticed, but like the coke was the only thing keeping him going. Like he was
Yeah,
on
that
so
was
many
his only
things that
fuel.
he would just go. He would just do coke and then go out and perform and crash.
Yeah, yeah, that's an unfortunate thing.
So funny story. The only so to tie back to the NSYNC conversation we had earlier, if you leave that in, uh, every time I think of this movie, I know it's not the same title, but like all I can think of is the Trolls when the NSYNC reunion song, "Better Place." I keep trying to transpose "Better Man" into the "Better Place" song.
Now, if you were put in that position to where you want to be famous, so you had to join a boy band, but that boy band only has to do gay clubs for a year and a half.
Well,
Would
you
you
know
do
why they
that?
did that? Do you know why they
They knew
did that?
exactly what they're doing.
Like they were trying to get you to have the fluid motions dancing and this and that to where you become irresistible to the ladies.
Right. We gotta
So that
remember
whenever
that
they
time period. Like the boy bands ran because New Kids on the Block were already obsolete, but it was
right.
before Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, so that was that
Mm-hmm.
weird middle period in the early '90s
Mm-hmm.
of the boy band scene.
I mean, the entire plan there was to have them go do nothing but gay bars, so that they would just become comfortable just dancing and having a good time, and then all of a sudden you put that same group of five guys out in front of an entire sellout crowd of women. They can't resist them because they're just doing the same thing, like they're dancing with all the guys, and now they're sex symbols.
Right. I love when they're sitting around the table and he's like, "In 5 years, we're all gonna hate each other."
Mm-hmm.
So, and then he says, "So look at your neighbor." And then he just fucking straight up looks at this dude in the face. I fucking love that. So good.
Yeah,
This movie's so good.
there was a
This
lot of good
movie,
aspects.
I first watched this movie in the beginning of February. Since then, I've watched it 12 times.
Good grief!
Mm-hmm. The physical copy comes out on May 13th, and I'm gonna buy every version that they fucking offer.
Are you going to try to find? Like, I assume they're going to have a 4K release.
I hope so, because this movie deserves a 4K. Because there's a lot of
Well, but
fucking glorified
does the
shit in
4K
there, and you
release
get the
only happen
colors.
for the movies? Does the 4K release only happen for movies that get to a certain what we'll call echelon of movie?
That's just up to the studios if they want to print 4K instead of just Blu-ray. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so hopefully, fingers crossed for me, at least that they release
Well,
the 4K of this fucking
I think if
movie.
you want there to be a 4K, you better be out there promoting the fuck out of this movie because it's going to need a lot better return than
Hence
what it
this
got.
episode right now. Hence this episode right now. I did not wait until this movie was old. I wanted it. I told you the second it started hitting streaming, we're gonna do it because I want to plug this movie.
Right.
Really fucking bad. I love this movie. I love this movie.
So, what was your favorite? For like, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. What was? I mean, because you already kind of gave your favorite scene, right? Like, what was your favorite? I
What
don't know.
hooked me into this movie like
Yeah,
hardcore?
yeah, we'll go with that.
Like I said, that opening with the little kid monkey made my ears percolate. I'm like, okay, you got my attention. What really had me hooked into this movie was around the time she discovered he had heroin needles in his arms and stuff like that, and then he started falling down the apartment fucking hallway or whatever.
Yeah,
I
the
was like,
stairwell.
"Ooh, what's gonna happen next?" I was like, "Oh, okay." And then, but like, and at the and I rate movies as the movies go on. Like I do out of 10 as I watch movies when they're like new to me. I'm
Right.
like, oh, okay, so far it's like a 5 out of 10. So far it's a 7 out of 10. So far, whatever. It was around 8 or 9 for the most of the movie until that very last scene to where he's doing his performance in front of everybody and he brings his dad on stage. As much of his dad is a piece of shit, go fuck yourself. Fucking Peter Conway, as he called himself. But when his dad told Robbie, "You're one of the gods," and then his face fucking just fucking crumpled, like he was getting so emotional, I was like, 10 out of 10. Let's go, baby. This movie's fucking fantastic. And since I've watched it 12 times, like I'm trying to. I honestly think not only is it a Miss Davis for me, but it might be in my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Okay.
Like,
So
which is crazy because we both of us have seen thousands of fucking movies.
right.
But
So my question to you then, now I'm not gonna like take 10 minutes to ask this question. At least I don't think I am. Okay, so now I remember. On your second watch, or your return visits to the movie,
mm-hmm.
how many more things did you pick up on during the movie that you didn't notice your first watch?
I've watched this 12 times. Every single time I've discovered new things that I've
Okay.
watched during it. Because the first time was just watching it. The second time I was watching the actual like film production
Right.
value of it, like and seeing like the film making of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next view would be like me thinking why did he decide to do this order of this story and so on and so forth. Like every single time I'm watching it for a different reason, and every time I watch it, I'm discovering new fucking things every single time.
All right. All right.
Like it's one of those movies that deserve multiple watches, but I don't blame you if you didn't like it enough to not watch it more than once. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I would not watch it again. It's not going to be one of those that, like, if I've got a choice of 5 movies, depending on the 5 movies, it may or may not be the one that I choose to watch.
Right.
But it is going to outrank others that I would have an opportunity to watch.
Yeah, no, I've had some alcohol, so I'm jumbling on myself a little bit here. So I'll just kind of go into my obvious rating. This is like literally one of my favorite movies that I've ever seen in my fucking lifetime. Now, do I expect everybody else to feel the same? No, I don't expect that. But like even in the comments on my other review video on this, like people were even saying like I had no idea who the fuck Robbie Williams is, but this movie didn't had no right to be as good as it was, which I agree. Like this movie did not need to be as good as it fucking was. Like it should have been. And if you describe this movie to somebody, it sounds generic. It's like, oh, it's a biopic of somebody going rise to the fame. Uh, but the filmmaking and everything all across the board with the aspects of this obviously gets a full-fledged Miss Davis for me. Or. I know
I'm
you're
kidding.
kidding. You
This movie was, when I saw the preview for it, it did not catch my interest at all.
Same.
I mean, I saw the
Same.
preview when it came out. I mean, it struck nothing to me about, hey, you should go watch this movie. Well,
Same. Like I said, I didn't even watch this movie if it wasn't for this channel because I watched it just so I can do a review video of why it
of
flopped.
a flop file.
Yeah.
Check it out. But yeah, the movie itself was enjoyable to me. I mean, you probably knew I was going to at least give it a decent rating just because for lack of a better term, it's a musical. and I do enjoy musicals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the movie, there was a few parts that just kind of I wasn't quite
Rubbed
sure
you the
about.
wrong way a little bit.
Not necessarily the wrong way, but I felt like they could have done a little better on. But I mean, overall, the movie was
Like transitions.
yeah, like some of the CGI, like the monkey CGI was great, but some of the other places where they tried to use CGI to just clean things up, I feel like they could have done a little better on. But
Mm.
I mean, at the end of the day, I get this movie got a 7.5 from me.
7.5. I will gladly accept that, sir.
I mean, the last scene,
That is a high rating for you, so I appreciate it.
the last scene, like up until the last scene, it was around a 6, but that last scene really brought it up for me.
Yeah, we're going into Weird, the Al Yankovic story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we thought Better Man was extravaganza because the main character was a monkey, which obviously he wasn't,
Right.
and him fighting himself in the crowd obviously didn't really happen. He didn't really do
Obviously
dance
not.
numbers stuff like that. So it's biopics turn into extravaganza. This movie is a definition of loosely based
I was gonna
on a
I
true
was gonna
story.
say I don't even know if I call this a biopic because I thought this movie was going to be a lot more factually based than what it was. There was a lot of unfactual information in this movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. Which were you surprised though when it turned out not to be a fucking actual official biopic? Because it's
A
Weird Al
little bit.
Yankovic
I mean,
we're talking
we were
about.
probably about like I had questions in my head as I was starting it, but we were about halfway through when I was like, whenever Beat It came out, I was like, no, this was a straight fucking parody of Michael Jackson. He did not. So I ended up looking it up. I was like, yeah, this
And
movie is
him
not
saying that he
not at
was taking
all
the.
factual.
Yeah, no, it wasn't at all. I mean, Madonna Chacon, like being part of the fucking mafia and shit.
Well, and I think it was. I don't know if it was after this movie came out or before, but like Weird Al, even on one of the late night shows, straight up said, "Yeah, Madonna and I have met like I think once. We are friends. That's it."
Exactly, exactly. And she gave the approval. So I mean, so then when you first started watching this movie, though, learning that this is not going to be a fucking biopic, it was going to be a Weird Al fantasy
Weird Al, correct.
that's literally like so a lot of that is true. Like
So
he recorded
right,
his first song in a restaurant or not a restaurant in a restroom.
bathroom.
Yeah, yeah, he literally recorded My Blona in a restroom with
Mm-hmm.
his friends. That was real. Him hanging out at the party. Now, was Pee Wee Herman and all them at that party? Probably not. But but
I
that
bet there
moment
was
really
maybe one,
happened to where they
one
told him.
maybe two big names that were there, and they just decided to see how much fun they can have with it.
Fun fact that you'll find interesting: that pool party that he was at, you had Pee Wee
Mhm.
Herman, and you had Alice Cooper.
Yep.
Did you recognize those two?
Alice Cooper, I think my wife recognized, the producer recognized, but yes, I recognized Pee Wee Herman right away. Did you realize how many other people were at that?
Oh yeah, all the pop culture.
Yeah.
Okay, so Andy Warhol, the blonde
Yep.
dude, that was Conan
Yep.
O'Brien. That was
Yeah.
Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, I did see that.
But Alice Cooper and Pee Wee Herman was Lonely Island.
I did not notice that.
That's why I was bringing it up because I know you're a Lonely Island fan. Andy
Okay.
Samberg had other ties to other shit during that
Mm-hmm.
movie, so that's why he didn't make an appearance. But the other
So it
two
was the
from
other
Lonely
two of
Island,
Lonely Island. Okay.
yeah, yep.
All right. I knew they looked familiar, but I couldn't figure. Like, I knew that. Like, I figured they looked familiar because they were Pee Wee Herman and Andy Warhol, but I didn't think about them being Lonely Island. I see it
Yeah,
now
yeah, that's one.
in my head. I
And
see it now.
I'm sure you recognize Rainn Wilson
Oh yeah, Rainn Wilson,
right out the
Doctor
bat.
Demento. I was
And your
not
boy
expecting
Dan
to see Jack
Radcliffe.
Black. I was not expecting to see him at
Yeah,
all.
as Wolfgang Puck, an actual producer from the '80s.
Right.
He is portraying the. Yeah, that surprised me too when I was like, God damn, Jack Black is in this fucking weird Roku original movie.
Well,
That's
there
fucking
was a
cool.
there was a ton of like The cast list in that was insane. Hold on, because there was I'm gonna have to go to the all cast instead of just top cast. Like there was.
while you're looking that up, they were originally going to use Daniel Radcliffe's voice singing because he was singing in every single one of those because he's a
To
Broadway
be honest,
actor
though, I'm
himself.
really glad they didn't because I'm like, oh yeah, Gallagher was in it.
Oh yeah, Gallagher. This is goddamn ever. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who played Gallagher, but that was good.
Gallagher was. Hold on, I saw him a second ago. Where'd he go? It was Paul F. Tompkins.
But after the first 10 minutes, like rewatching this, the first 10 minutes of the kind of humor with the dad and beating the shit out of the accordion salesman and stuff like that, I'm like, Colonel's gonna love this movie. Colonel's gonna fucking love this movie.
Well,
I
so
guarantee it. Because it's right up your fucking alley on humor.
I love that you thought I'd love this movie just because of that. What you probably didn't know is that Weird Al is one of my favorite songwriters in fucking history.
I didn't know that. As you know, Weird Al was my very first concert ever. Period. Like my first concert ever was Weird Al Yankovic.
So like we were sitting there, and whenever he would be getting ready to write a song, I would hear the music in the background, and I'd be like, oh, it's My Bologna, or the I can't remember which one it was, but like my wife was saying, like it was the bus, another one rides the bus, because you could hear
Another one rides the bus.
and she was like,
At
wait,
the
what?
pool party.
She was like, it's something. I was like, oh, it's another one rides the bus. Like I was naming the songs off, and yeah, it was great.
Another one bites the dust. Yeah. Because we had the basis for Queen at that pool party, which is actually true. It's actually true. The basis for Queen was at that pool party that he attended. And
now, did the basis for Queen actually ask him to come play Live Aid with him? Probably.
No. That wasn't real. But the basis for Queen being at that party, yeah, that actually happened. He challenged, because he heard My Bologna, so he challenged Weird Al to make another parody song. Go ahead and parody one of our songs. And so, not on that moment, like that was fake too. Like he didn't fucking come up with another one rides the bus right there in the moment.
But he might have got the permission to do it right there.
But yeah, he got the permission. And that's how.
Like John Deacon might have literally said, "Yeah, dude, that was awesome. You go ahead and do it."
What I love is that they did Amish Paradise in this movie.
I know. Did you see Coolio at the end?
Yeah. What I love though is that movie didn't come out until the 90s. But at the very end of this movie, they said Weird Al was assassinated in 1985. At that
right. I thought it was, wasn't it 87 or something? Was it 85?
Or it was in the 80s. It was, yeah. It was towards mid 80s or whatever.
Yeah. And when that happened, my wife was like, that's not right. I was like, no, it's not. Like, I'm pretty sure he was a producer on this movie. I'm pretty sure they were using his voice to sing the songs.
Your poor wife still questioning things when it's at the end of the movie like that. It's like, come on. He's still in the jungle.
I was gonna say, whenever he's going to Pablo, whenever Madonna gets captured by Pablo Escobar, and then he goes and just starts killing his entire fucking. Oh man.
This movie is over the top ridiculous.
But so is Weird Al.
Though, but the thing is though, there is some truth literally sprinkled in there. Like that was some of his.
Whenever somebody wants to talk about how do you describe a movie that's based on a true story, this is what you want to explain to them. Like Weird Al, Weird is based on true events.
It's based on a true story.
But look at how much liberty they took and made it
90% of the movie is not real whatsoever.
So like every time you see this movie pop up and it says based on true events or based on a true story, yeah,
take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. And people need to realize that too when they see it based on true story. They think the whole thing is true. No. Take it with a grain of salt. I promise you it's not how it went down.
No.
It is not.
But no,
knowing that you're a big Weird Al fan, though, like, I didn't know that you're a big Weird Al fan. Like,
huge.
I did not know that. Have you ever seen Weird Al live?
I have not. and it makes me mad that you
It's
have.
glorious. It's glorious. That was my first concert.
And I
That was
probably
my
never
first
will. 'Cause I
mosh
bet he doesn't
pit.
even tour anymore.
He was just in Wichita last year.
God damn it!
I know. I gotta remember, since you guys are kind of disconnected with the world. I gotta remember to
Yeah, we
show you
are.
what concerts are coming through town. I gotta remember to show you, like, hey, this
Well,
concert's coming through
here's what I'm
town.
going to tell you.
99% of the time, we're not gonna go,
For
but
me,
there's gonna be that 1% that we're
no.
gonna go to
So
one
for
of those
me,
concerts.
there are two concerts that if they're in town,
Weird Al,
I
Bowling
will.
for Soup.
Yep. If they're in town, I need to know, and I will move fucking worlds to go to those concerts. For my wife, it's Breaking Benjamin.
Yep. Yeah, now I know. Now I know exactly what
Right.
concerts
Now
to
you know
look
after
out
they've been
for.
here and we find out they've been here.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I would do
Yeah.
it. Oh, I lied. And Disturbed. But I don't know if Disturbed is touring anymore.
Oh, they are. Yeah.
My wife's two are Breaking Benjamin and Disturbed. My two are Weird Al and Bowling for Soup. And what's funny is my two I have not seen. My wife's two I have seen both.
God.
He's throwing chairs now.
Back to Weird Al.
Back to Weird Al. So
Before I fucking rage and actually break my cheap $12 chair.
So I'll be honest with you. When I was watching this movie, I was sitting there like, they better have fucking Gangster's Paradise in here because that was like, or I'm sorry, Amish Paradise.
Amish Paradise.
Because I was like, that was one of my favorite songs, and I loved how they led up to it because he finally gets the approval from his dad and finds out that his dad just wanted to be an accordion player just like him and this and that, and he was in the Amish group and they couldn't. And then that into fucking Amish Paradise, and I was like, "Oh my god, yes, yes!"
What's funny is, like, yeah, the end point of this story was before Amish Paradise ever got made, but they made sure they put Amish Paradise in that fucking movie.
Right.
Like I said, he got assassinated in 1980 or whatever.
And then they got the Coolio guy sitting there looking all pissed off that he's doing.
Yeah, because he sued Weird Al for.
Oh, did he? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's why that happened, because he sued Weird Al. Even though Weird Al always got permission from all the artists that he covered.
Yeah.
Apparently, Coolio's representative told
Gave
Weird
the
Al it's
approval.
okay for him to do.
And then
But
Coolio didn't
Coolio
want
said, absolutely fucking not. So then he got a deal to where 70% of profit from Amish Paradise went to Coolio. So
No
Weird Al,
way.
he got 30% of the fucking profit. Yeah. that was their final segment there. But now Coolio's dead, so 100% profits go to Weird Al.
Even better.
Opposite a spit take.
That would have been funny.
Now, this movie did kind of lose me a little bit when he started going in the jungle and stuff. I was like,
Agreed.
okay,
So-
this is getting a little weird.
What I'm going to tell you is up until the Beat It song, this movie was nearing the Miss Davis range for me.
Yeah, straight up Colonel film. I knew it. I knew at least part of it would be.
The second half of the movie really, really killed it for me. Like I was not happy with the second.
It felt like they were trying to stretch out
Right.
obscure story like that,
Right.
and fantastical. Yeah, that's where it kind of lost me too. I was like, this, because the first half, I'm probably cracking up at the same parts that you're cracking up. Like, I
Right.
literally laughed out loud on some moments when I rewatched this. I was like, oh, that's fucking the dad beating the shit out of the accordion salesman. That fucking cracked me up.
Did you see that?
Which, that's a true
go ahead.
story, by the way. Oh, I mean, not the dad beating the shit out of the accordion salesman, but that's how Weird Al got his first accordion.
With an
was
accordion,
a
yeah, I knew that.
door-to-door. Yeah, his door-to-door salesman. And that's how he got his first accordion.
Okay.
Now, his dad beat the shit out of him? No, that wasn't real.
No.
The dad in this movie was not real at all. There was nothing truth about Weird Al's dad in this movie.
Fair enough. So with his roommates, did you recognize the long-haired blonde guy?
Yes.
That was
Uh,
Lucius from Gladiator.
mm-hmm.
Like whenever I saw him, I
He's
was
been
like,
in other shit too.
he has. But like I was sitting there and I was like, I told him I saw him and I was like, I turned to my wife, I was like, I know this kid. I don't know what he's. I can't place him right now, but I know him. So I went and looked him up and I was like, oh my god, it's Lucius from Gladiator. He's all grown up.
You recognize the record label in her, right?
Weird Al.
That was Weird Al. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I
I was just
didn't at
making
first.
sure.
Like I did not at first. Like I knew I recognized him, but I didn't know him at first. And then we ended up looking him up, and it was Weird Al.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, you had to look it up.
Yeah, because he didn't have the fucking curly hair.
And the mustache.
Right. Like
Right.
it was. He looked just different enough that I couldn't place him, but I knew he was. I knew I recognized him.
So he was familiar to you, but it didn't pinpoint
Right.
that was actually Weird Al himself.
Right.
That's fucking fantastic. But yeah, overall though, yeah, it was a great start to a movie. It kind of lost me a little bit with the fucking jungle shit and
Yep.
Madonna's fucking mafiosa shit and all that
Right.
stuff. But
Like
overall though, I thought this movie was a good time. I really did.
absolutely, and I'm kind of in the same boat. Like I wish it would have been a little more factually correct, but at the end of the day, it's Weird Al. Like
Right.
he was a
If
producer.
Weird
of the
Al's gonna
movie.
do a movie, obviously it's gonna be fantastical.
Right.
Did you
Fantastic.
see UHF? His first movie,
Fantastically,
UHF?
fantastically fantastical.
Right. Did
Did I
you
see
see Weird
what?
Al's first movie that he did called UHF from the 80s? Oh, you need to see that.
I don't think so.
Because anytime you hear somebody go, "You're so stupid," that's a quote
That from that movie?
Weird Al, yeah. From the UHF movie, yeah. It's so good.
All right, no, I mean I've seen it because it isn't that like the poster or the whatever it doesn't in Weird Al on the front of it.
Yeah, and it's got the weird spirals in his
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was the poster for that movie.
Okay. Yeah, it's one that I want to see. It's just again, it has not moved far enough up my list to watch.
It's definitely your sense of humor, sir. You definitely
Well,
need to watch that movie.
it might get a Miss Davis for me then. Who knows? We'll see.
God damn. Of all movies that we review, if fucking Land Before Time and UHF gets fucking Miss Davis's.
Oh man.
I'm gonna buy you a helmet if that happens.
Well, don't worry.
With a window.
We'll probably
So you
get
can lick
one. We'll probably get one again here before too long. That's going to be another Miss Davis by me.
All right. So let's go ahead and review Weird,
Okay.
the Al Yankovic story. It's your boy Daniel Radcliffe, which I'm pretty sure you thought that was just entertaining enough. That Daniel Radcliffe of all people is fucking Weird Al in a fucking Weird Al movie.
So honestly, watching this movie made me really want to consider doing movies by Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint that were just awful. And I was gonna pick whatever that Akumbe movie was from
Gun Akimbo.
Guns Akimbo from that Daniel Radcliffe did. And I know that Rupert Grint's been another one that was fucking awful. I was gonna pick those just as Harry Potter rejects is what we were gonna call that episode.
Anyways, yes, Weird, the Al Yankovic story.
Weird the Al Yankovic story. I've always called him Weird Al Yankovic, but I know it's Weird Al Yankovic.
I was gonna say, like, at least you're aware of that.
I'm aware of it.
You can say Yankovic all you want, as long as you're aware that is not correct.
I am aware it's not correct, but I can't stop myself. I cannot stop myself from saying it.
All right.
Believe me, I've tried. But anyway,
all right.
So this movie for me, like, it was very fun. Like I said, up until about halfway through the movie, it was gonna get a 10 from me. And then they started going off
that
the
you're
rails.
looking forward to, yeah.
It's a movie I've been looking forward to seeing for a long time. I just haven't watched it, and it just kind of started going off the rails at the second half of the movie, and it was still
Yeah, it got
entertaining.
too fantastical for me.
It was still very entertaining. It just was not really a biopic anymore at that point. It was more of a fiction movie. So this movie still gets an 8 from me, but it was
Nice.
it was it was on the cusp of being a very great movie, in my opinion.
They just slightly missed the mark for you there.
Right.
Just slightly.
They missed it in the second half of the movie. If the second half
Yeah.
would have been better, okay.
I agree, and I loved all the random references in the movie. You know, like even some references that go over the head. Like when the mom is getting fat, she's like, "You know I'm fat. I'm fat. You know
I know
it."
She's fat.
And then Danny Radcliffe is just looking like that's fucking stupid. Like they didn't even talked about him making the song "Fat."
Right.
That was a nice reference to it.
Yeah.
I loved all those little tidbits. I loved how extreme the dad was, beating the fuck out of the accordion salesman, and shit like that. And it turns out he was an accordion player himself, which is 100% not true at all. But with me, like, yeah, I know 7's the cop out with ratings, but that is literally a solid 7. Like,
For you?
it's yeah, I give it a 7. Like, it's an hour and a half movie. An hour of it is fucking amazing. About a half an hour of it, I'm like, okay, we could 86 that. So I'm definitely giving it a solid 7 there. All right, so now we've come to the point. What we do next week, sir?
Well, next week, in honor of, so I'm going to do a couple movies that are you get to learn some good lessons from these movies. They are movies that will teach you that the color of your skin does not matter, because everybody is an amazing person.
We all bleed red, motherfuckers.
That's right. So the movies we're going to be watching next week, also in honor of the NCAA Final Four and NCAA Championship for basketball, is happening. Well, I think the Final Four already happened tonight, but we're watching the championship. We get to watch the championship in 2 days per this recording. So the first one we're going to talk about. I'm sorry, I'm rambling a little bit. The first one we're going to get in, blame the milk dad. The first one will be Glory Road.
Oh, okay, that's Sam Jackson, right?
No, that is Coach Carter that you're thinking of.
Oh,
Glory Road, I believe, is Josh Lucas.
it's the white coach. Yeah, okay,
Yes.
now I remember.
Great movie. It's all about basketball. The second movie has nothing to do with basketball, but it is a great movie. Also, that will also teach you some things about how to treat your peer regardless of color, and that is Remember the Titans.
I called it. Remember the Titans. That is one of your favorite movies, so expect another Miss Davis coming next week.
Yes, you will get a Miss Davis.
I mean, sorry for the spoiler alert, but I know that's one of your favorite movies. So, spoilers.
Yes,
Glory Road and Remember the Titans.
That is correct.
2 sports movies, 2 racially driven sports movies. Gotcha.
Wonderful, the movies that are they are. Tune in next week.
Titans has Denzel Washington, and everybody knows that I hate Denzel Washington with a passion. So we'll see how my rating goes.
You're gonna love him in this movie, fucker.
We'll see. You have to tune in next week to find out. Nah?
We'll see how much of a racist Andrew is.
Oh, it's not about racist. Denzel can be white and he can still fuck off. About that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I have been Faye.
I have been Mr. Colonel Whiteside.
And we'll check you on the flip side.
Check you on the flippity flip.